A very, very warm good evening. It's the 2nd of June, 2025. My name is Arunfoot. You are on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. Welcome to those who are watching live or all of you who might be watching this video later on. It's another Indian football discussion with a little bit of an international twist as the Champions League final was played here in Germany in Munich on Saturday, in which Paris Saint-Germain demolished Internazionale Milan 5-0, and also, of course, at the end of the season in Europe, we've had the Indian women having their first friendly against Uzbekistan, losing 0-1. India, Thailand coming up this week. India playing again against Uzbekistan, so a lot of action in the coming few days. And we're in the new, officially as per Indian football calendar, we are in the 2025-2026 season because officially it started yesterday, and there is still no clarity in regard to how Indian football will be moving ahead in the new season. So therefore, all of these things to talk about and other things, and also at the start, like, share, and subscribe as always. Let's keep on growing the community. Thanks a lot as always for your support, and yeah, we'll have to try and see what we all can do together, which is going to be hopefully good for Indian football. Where can I watch India silent outside India? Shomo, again, within India, it was announced today that Fan Code will be showing today's match. The match against Thailand on the 4th and the Hong Kong match on the 10th, outside of India, I guess in the past, I've seen that the Football Association of Thailand, the FAT, has streamed or had streamed matches. So I hope they will stream the match as well. I've not seen anything from the Football Association of Thailand, but Shoma, I hope that they will be able to stream the game. I'm first, Satyam. Good evening, Banjab. Welcome back. Hope we see good performance of India against Thailand 4th of June. I think we all are hoping for that. Satyam, I think all of us are hoping that Manolo now has had 2 weeks of time working with the team. A lot of regulars have come back into the squad, that they will perform and will take us forward. That's the hope I think that all of us have. But again, nothing is a given, I think, these days when it comes to Indian football, it's Thailand, of course, also has now some players of origin in their squad. So let's wait and see what India can do, because for me, this is an important game on one side, but the more important game is on the 10th when India face Hong Kong. That's the key one. And therefore, all of the energy, all our strength should be towards the 10th. The 4th is something to build up on. What do you think about 14 team? Who will play ISL 25-26? Churchill Brothers or Interkashi? Both have huge fan bases in Goa and UP respectively. I want to see new I-League clubs in ISL this time. Support. Satyam, again, with the appeals committee again getting involved, making it even more chaotic. I honestly don't know, because the season has started, as I said yesterday, officially on paper, and we don't know what's going to be, right? The AIFF has given out a calendar, an unofficial one. We've already going to have another chaotic September if it stays the way it is. That the AIFF is saying, you know what, we'll have in late July and August, we'll have Durand Cup, and from the 1st to the 20th, we'll play the Super Cup or Federation Cup, whatever it is. And then we already have in September, of course, the FIFA window. We've got the AFC U23 Asian Cup qualifiers. We also have the Indian clubs, the first round of potential matches for Mohun Bagan and FC Goa, if FC Goa makes it to ACL 2. So that is as well. So therefore, that's a concern to me. And yeah, again, Mohammedan Sporting at the moment, not being an ISL team at this moment in time. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see. Will there be 14? Will there be 13? Will there be 12? Will there be an ISL? Again, we come to that basic question. So let's wait and see. And huge fan bases in Goa and UP. I don't know where you get that info from, but yeah, to me, Interkashi is trying to build a fan base. And I think Interkashi has built a certain fan base over the last 2 weeks locally. And yeah, let's see. Like, do you think even if we get a decent, stable AIFF, we would do better? Renal, the success of Indian football, does it really depend on the AIFF? Simple question to me. Does it depend on the success? In a lot of countries, the federations are not good, are a mess, and their teams, national teams, are doing well. Vice versa, there are countries where the federation is really well run, and the national teams don't do well. So therefore, this is not something which is directly or indirectly related. So therefore, that's something which to me is not an always a automatic connection. All away matches are on fan code. Yeah, Mike, looks like that has been the decision of the AIFF, and that's, to me, it's good that there is a platform. And also, I would like to say, and I hope that Indian football fans, support fan code and the AIFF in showcasing those matches, and watch those matches, because the better the viewership on fan code, the more likely is that fan code will do more in Indian football. Very, very simply said. Good evening, Giron Ray. Welcome back. What's the future of ISL? No updates till now. Ranjit is not optimistic about the future of ISL whatsoever. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what is the what is the future of the ISL. I think the question is, if the ISL is gone, if FSDL is gone, if Reliance is gone, is the future of club football possible? I think that's the question that we should be having, and nobody's having that conversation in football, right? Because everyone thinks, something or the other will work out. Someone told me the other day, "Kuch na kuch ho jayega," was what he said, and then I'm like, okay, if that's the way we're taking this, then things are even worse than I thought it is. So let's wait and see. This time, players get enough time together. Good camp so far, no hoping for best results. Gendra, how do you know it's a good camp? How do you know? How do I know it's a good camp? Right? Looking at pictures, looking at videos doesn't give you the reality if the camp has been good or not. So therefore, for me, to me, you can have a great camp. You can have a brilliant camp and bad results. You can have a bad camp but good results. So therefore, the result is, and this is what I say, that's what I said earlier, right, to René as well. The work of the AIFF and the work of the national team is not 1:1. I remember that we did a lot of work pre-under-17 World Cup with the help of the German DFB, with the German FA, to support the AIFF and prepare the team. I think that's the most that ever has been done. Did we win matches in the under-17 World Cup? Did we, we were happy scoring a goal that Jackson did. So therefore, that is not correlated in my opinion. So your hopes on Naushad Musa through your relationship and hopes with U20 in the Asian Games and qualifiers. Really, to me, Asian Games, honestly, is a bonus. To me, the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers are more important in my opinion. Naushad as a coach is good for this team. He's worked with a lot of the youngsters in the past, and therefore for me that's very, very and therefore I'm waiting to see. The team is gathered now in Kolkata. I want to see some footage of how they're training in Kolkata, how that is all going on. That's important, I think, for us. So to me, very, very important is that we do well, and then we'll have to see what can Naushad do with the boys in June, friendlies against Tajikistan and Kyrgyz Republic, and then we'll hopefully see the team in the qualifiers later this year. Looks tough, Qatar, Bahrain, and Brunei. But I'm keeping trust in Naushad Musa and the boys. Hopefully, they can finish off something and do something good. Now, the Bangladesh Football Federation recently initiated a new system where players from SAF countries can play BPL as a local player. A few questions regarding this. Yes, Palash, I'll try and answer them. Which countries will be benefited from this? Answering your first question, Palash, Nepal could be a big beneficiary from this. Nepal Super League growing steadily. Someone like a Simon Grayson went there as well. So let's wait and see. That is one. I see, maybe some of the players from Bhutan or Sri Lanka or Maldives. It might be also something to get players of Sri Lankan origin, for example, to come to play in the league, because I've heard that the Bangladeshi origin players at the moment are not a target. So therefore, this could be. Your question is, do you see any Indian player going to be there? Could be, but I don't see an ISL level player, maybe players of an I-League or maybe even if lower level, let's say Kolkata League player could be going there. And therefore, but I'm not sure that top level Indian players makes no sense because the salaries in India are higher than in Bangladesh. So therefore, this might be for the second or third rung players to sort of push and resurrect their careers. The third question, do you think Bangladesh club football will increase the popularity among sub-countries by this? It's an attempt. I don't know if it will work, but to me, it's an interesting concept. It was thought of many years back. Nobody really thought about this in a way that it could be implemented. I know that this has been discussed even in Indian football in the past, allowing players from SAF to be, or making a SAF in Indian football, rather it was SAF quota, one or two players, was never implemented. So therefore, for me, it's an interesting idea, but we'll have to wait and see how and if it works. That's going to be the test. They have also claimed that AIFF might ask ISL to implement similar kind of rules. What impact will it have on India? Palash, I don't know if the problem is, are there really those players in SAF or in the region of SAF to be coming to India? We've had players from Nepal, we've had, let's say, Chencho from Bhutan over here, we've had Jamal Bhuyan, for example, from Bangladesh in the league, players from the Maldives, Sri Lanka, we've had, and remember in the NFL and I-League days with Indian Bank, for example. So therefore, we've had players from South Asia. It's going to be interesting to see. It might be an interesting thing for players of origin, for Bangladeshi players of origin, lower level, or players of origin from Sri Lanka, because the money is good in the ISL. So that might be an incentive for these players to come over. But at this moment in time, not sure if it is really of value to Indian club football as some think. As I said, I'm not 100% sure it is really of the value that is being talked about. Do you believe national teams got to qualify for Asian Cup? Yashraj, no. I don't have belief, I have hope. To me, this team currently doesn't give me that confidence that I believe that they're going to make it. And therefore, for me, let's see. Let's wait and see what happens. Palash answers, Satyam, do you think 1K average and 4K highest attendance can be termed as huge fan base? Again, Palash, that's my point. They don't have, right? They have to still build. So again, getting Durand Cup as a season opener in Kolkata, not only Kolkata, but across East and Northeast, 6 venues this time. And to me, the simple question is to the organizers as the Indian Army so therefore for me, during the monsoons, again, such a big complex tournament. We've had your problems over the last 2 years. So that's the thing. Something is wrong at BFC here. Edgar will leave too. I don't know what is wrong, but again, there were the rumors regarding the coach at some stage during the season, if you remember, during the slump, so we'll have to see. I mean, to me, it also seems that there's been quite a general clear out at a number of clubs. Let's see what they're going to do. So how many goals we are getting? Goals or will we trashed? Ritam, let's go with a positive mind into that Thailand game. I don't know what to expect. So therefore, for me, let's wait and see. What India can do against Thailand. India U23 will play a practice match against North 24 Parganas U23 team on 7th June. That was good. I mean, As in India under 23, you could even play with the senior North 20 Parganas. Those kind of games are good for the boys, right? They need to see. I think Nosha needs to see where is the team, how is the team, what can I do. Yeah, let's see. Why is the transfer window slow this year? Augusto, very simply because most people don't know what's the future, right? I think that if you see, we've heard more about releasing players than signing players. The market is slow because nobody knows, and people are waiting to see what evolves, what develops, and also they don't want to overspend. I think that's also a concern which has been there, which is there. Do I overspend? Can I manage my spend? That is the difficult part at the moment within Indian football. So therefore, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Again, very slow market, but if things are sorted, then things can move forward. So therefore, we'll have to all wait and see what happens. Yeah. Hello, what about I-League champions? Uchut, it's become even more complex because now a second case regarding I-League champions has gone to CAS. Interkashi has now got 2 separate cases filed with CAS. And we'll have to wait and see what happens on that because of international break. What, Mayank? Sorry, what about international break? I had news Malaysia has called up a player from Alaves to play in La Liga, Facundo Garces. Yeah, they've been calling up players from Europe, left, right, and center. Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, all of them. Yes, I remember 2 years back we were discussing this concept. I've asked you about it on a live. Parash, as I said, it's an interesting idea. The question is, where are the players to come into the ISL to enhance the standards? Don't see that many. Hamza to Mohn Bagan, here we go. Angry Birds, nice one. Heard rumors about very high ticket prices for FIFA World Cup 2026. Brackets, I haven't received any official mail from FIFA till now. I haven't heard anything about high prices as well, to be honest. FIFA, the World Cup prices are higher than general prices anyway at competitions. Even Euro prices last year were sometimes ridiculous. I mean, you could have gone half of the season most probably in Germany if you wanted to, in the Bundesliga compared to the prices at the Euros. So why second place qualify is over which other is first team qualify? Mike, if you're talking about under 23s, then the 11 group winners and the 4 best second place teams qualify for the final round. Do you think in general India's support missing link is leadership and accountability, and same way other countries also? Morally, leadership, accountability, knowledge, realistic approach. There are a lot of things which come together to make it successful. SAC can help Indian I-League players especially, but playing at those leagues is going to be helpful. Let's see who wants to venture out and want to go and risk to play outside. That's going to be the big question. Let's see what they do. Manaf sir, hi, generally, and any update on OCPO? No, nothing. It's been no movement. A lot of people are talking about movements, but I have not seen any. Have we improved the infrastructure in the last 10 years, or did the ecosystem improve along with the time? Then the infrastructure dramatically evolved over the last 11 years, I would say. The ISL is the reason. But even more reasons are the FIFA Under-17 World Cup for men's and women, so for boys and girls. I think those 2 competitions have really helped, and of course, general development as well on that side. How do you rate your 23 boys' quality and performance? Performance, I can't rate, Murali, because they have to play. And quality, you know what the standard of the senior national team is. So the quality of the under-23s is going to be around it. Paula says, but just a thought, if ISL now soft players as locals, then it might end the inflated salaries of Indian football. The player pool will increase. Smaller clubs can have good squad in a low budget. In theory, yeah, nice thought. The question now is, how many do you allow? So that's the question. Are you allowing 1 soft player? Are you allowing 2? If you're allowing 1, yes, it makes a little bit of difference, but not much. Are you allowing more? Are you allowing generally soft players to be regarded as Indian players? I don't see the AIFF and the ISL wanting that to happen. Karabas is trying to make a great team this year, but alas, there might be no ISL this season. It seems like reports. Transfer window is not slow. Actually, it's Indian club with big financial losses, uncertainty of league as well. Yeah, those are some of the reasons, right? Very, very right. So quickly, more than 20 minutes already on this live on a Monday evening. Welcome back to Arun Foot here on my YouTube channel. 9 likes so far. If you like it, please leave a like. Please share with other people who might be interested in our conversations on Indian football, and do subscribe to the channel as well. And support the channel. Thanks as always. And besides all Indian football, I've been doing a little bit of international content once in a while. Doesn't seem to be penetrating, so I hope guys do support it. Did something yesterday on PSG, winning the UEFA Champions League. What an incredible game. What an incredible performance. Look at the other videos as well that I did. We have to I-League Champions Appeals Committee, what happened, Oscar extending his contract, India U23s and their opponents in the qualifiers, exclusive Prithvi Das interview. So thanks a lot as always, and do watch and support. Good evening, Moinok. And the AFC now remove the foreign limits, so clubs won't have any problems. The country never do. Yeah, but do you think that if you're going to get a player from Bangladesh and Nepal, that's going to make that a difference at continental level? I mean, just think about the players, that for example, Al Nassr will be an opponent, right? If Ronaldo goes or stays, nobody knows. But the players they're targeting, right? So therefore, for me, you want to play a Bangladeshi player against, captain of, Bruno Fernandes or someone? I have a gut feeling that East Bengal will do something big this season after 2018-19 season. Cordial, let's hope, and let's see what East Bengal can do. At the moment, they're all over the place in regard to the transfer market, and they're not getting those things done. Let's see. Recently, I watched U9 boys in Philadelphia and a Kolkata Blue Cups champion team of the same age group, not much difference, but then as they age, you know what happens. Okay, interesting. Because Ochut, I watched an under-10 game in Spain last December when I was in Malaga. That was impressive. To say the least, that was very, very impressive to see that under-10s boys in Spain play a different level. Can't compare. And therefore, for me, that's why Spanish boys, technically, tactically, different level. 9-year-old, 10-year-old Spanish boys, much, much better in their football than even, for example, I would say our boys here in Germany. In a YouTube channel called International Soccer Braid, a white guy was saying that ISL is the worst league in Asia. Yeah, man. Anyway, don't take all of these things too seriously. You guys go and watch stuff from people who you should not, validate by giving them views. Sorry to say that, right? If he says that the ISL is the worst league in Asia, I could tell at least 10 leagues which are worse than the ISL, or countries which don't have a proper league. So therefore, it's just saying, it makes no sense if someone has said that. That the ISL is not the best league in Asia, that we know. But we're also not the worst. There are much, much worse leagues than the ISL. Transfer window is slow because of international break. Mike, it has nothing to do with the international break. Transfer window is whenever the transfer window is, you do transfers. So therefore, it has nothing to do with it. So what exactly the SAC rule? Can you give us a definition of the same? It's the Bangladesh are saying that any South Asian player could be a local player in the Bangladesh league. So that's the whole thing. So yeah, AIFF is one of the laziest federations in the world. Sven Notwell is one of the star youth performers in Bono. Next season might be part of the first. It seems he might debut for Sweden. Yeah, but anyway, it's what is the AIFF going to do? Is Meghalaya government really investing in football? Any updates about it? Renal, they are doing their things. They've inaugurated a few infrastructure projects, supporting the clubs. So yeah, they're doing their things, investing in football. Yeah, very much. Why are we not improve, instead stuck with past history, or we're not giving importance to the foundation, or too much of politics? See, I did a tweet a few days ago, and I think that sums up as an answer to your question, Murali. 1 second. What did I write? What did I write? When did I write it? A few days back. What did I write? Okay. Oh, it's May 29th. Okay, it was before the weekend. I thought it was over the weekend. Last Thursday, I wrote, Indian football needs to set its house in order. But for that to happen, the house needs a foundation which has been destroyed. That is a tweet of mine from last week. And I stick to that point because, whatever foundations we built over the last few years, prior to 2022, those foundations have been destroyed. So that's the problem, So for me, if our foundations are not strong, let's see, if you've got, it's a simple logic. If you're building a high-rise building and your foundations are 2 sticks, or let's say 4 sticks, the building will collapse. And that's where we are at the moment. We're trying to build something, but we're unable to build because the whole thing is collapsing again, and we're doing the same mistakes again and again and again, and we're not progressing. And that's the problem of Indian football at this moment. Germany versus USA U23 women's match going on right now, says Geron. Hi Blue, most dominant final I ever saw. Yeah, I mean, this PSG, if you look at where they were in November, December, they looked like they're going to get eliminated. They came back, turned it around in style, I have to say. And got better every week, I felt. Right? Every week they're playing, this team got better. And if you see this domination against Inter, the strategy behind putting pressure on them and knowing when to press and not to press, knowing when to outrun your players, or even the defensive work put in by Ousmane Dembele, by Kvaratskhelia, by Doué, exceptional, right? And think about it. PSG's plan a decade back was to win the Champions League, right? With superstars. You had Beckham, Ibrahimovic, Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, Thiago Silva, they did it without all those stars. Marquinhos is like that superstar in that team. And the others are rising ballers. Kvaratskhelia in the winter was a smart buy. Doué last summer, brilliant buy. Ousmane Dembele finally showing what he's capable of. I remember him as a young player at Borussia Dortmund before he went to Barca. Exceptional talent. So, and I've always been a Luis Enrique fan. I used to love him with his number 21 jersey at Barca. Very sad story in regard to his daughter and cancer. But to do it with a young PSG to win the Champions League the way he did, a lot of respect from my side. How do you see politician running administration or businessman? Do you find a problem, attention, or contribution to the game matters? Murali, I don't care who is running a sporting federation or association. If the person really has the right desire, will, and even if it's right or wrong, it'll gonna work. So, but a politician or a top level businessman is needed, because certain things in a country like India, you will not be able to get done without the help and the support of the political class. Reality. Jerry M left Odisha FC. Yeah, Blue, that came to me as a surprise that Jerry, who has been with Odisha for many, many years now, suddenly leaves Odisha FC. I don't know. I was at least surprised. I don't know what you guys felt. I felt very surprised that Jerry has left Odisha FC. yeah, let's see where he goes. In Bangladesh, I think Bashundhara Kings will gain the most from this initiative. Those Sri Lankan origin players are good, and Bashundhara Kings plays in AFC Challenge League, kind of similar quality. Parash, the Sri Lankan origin players are. The question is if they're going to want to go to Bangladesh. That's the first question. If they're playing in Europe, don't know. That's one. Bashundhara Kings don't have the money that they've had in the past. That's also a reality. So let's see how it works out. What status of Indian League this year? Sort of the question of all questions, I think, that nobody can answer. I know a lot of people are trying to answer it here and there and saying, oh, this is happening, that is happening, oh, this is the reality, that's the reality. At the moment, nobody knows. The AIFF is announcing dates for competitions, and nobody knows if and what is going to happen. That's the status at this, because the Supreme Court has intervened and nothing has happened. How to trust source of information, who to believe or not, how far European fan matured. Murali, a football fan, be it in India, be it in Europe, you love to believe a lot of the stories because you think that is, so I'm very careful. Again, you see a lot of rumors, right, around players. I saw someone was writing about, oh, Tiri has left Mumbai City, this and that. Today in the morning, I thought, Mumbai City yesterday announced that Tiri is staying with Mumbai City. So therefore, these are some of the interesting realities that we have, that people are writing stories here, left, right, and center, which is not true. So therefore, that is one. And European fans, yeah, you would say much more mature. But if you see that there are the Fabrizio Romanos of this world with regard to the rumors and and his colleagues and all, it's more organized than in India. But again, I would have said 2 weeks ago, people would have said, oh, Florian Wirtz is already signed for, or is on the verge of signing for Bayern Munich. And then suddenly, and he went to England and supposedly met Manchester City, and he didn't even meet Manchester City, he met Liverpool Football Club. So therefore, yeah, it is more mature, but somewhat the same problems also exist. My son was playing against the regular U9 Academy players. He rarely practices and physically far weaker than the US kids, but gave them a hard time with strong tackles. Uchut, like father, like son. So how do we restructure foundations? A new regime coming and building it from scratch? Then there are different ways of doing it. It depends. Yes, we need a strong AIFF. That's the first thing I would say. A strong AIFF led by the right people, and that's the only way, right? So, and then rebuild the foundations. Yes, there were certain foundations which have been. Yeah, let's see. Australia women eliminated Argentina today by 4-1. They dominated them. Again, rare. Argentina are not biggies in women's football, so Australia are. So not a surprise in my opinion. We are getting boost in chess. Many good players are coming. And I'll say something which a lot of people who follow chess will not like. Who cares that India is doing well in chess? Except India, who cares? I don't think a lot of people care in the world. A lot of people don't even see chess as a sport. Sorry for that, but that's what people think. We have seen best football by Indian team under Constantine D. Yeah. If I say what I've seen over the last 25, 6, 7 years, I would say yes. India versus Thailand at the Asian Cup, most probably, maybe even the first 30 minutes against the UAE. After that, those were most probably the best matches I've seen. Yes. Do you feel PSG was an underdog winning the UCL? Ochut, no, I wouldn't say that, because at the end of the day, if you think Kvaratskhelia bought for, I think, 70 million euros. Doué last summer bought for about 62 million euros, I think. If you look at the names, you'll say, yeah, underdog. But it is, in that way, it was an underdog final, because who would have thought PSG and Inter would play the final? I think nobody would have said that at the start of the season. But again, those two are, at the end of the day, those two are still big teams in European context. That PSG has never won the Champions League, that's a different story, but those two still are big teams. In a Pakistan football podcast, I saw guys having discussion about FIFA giving PFF $100,000 in a year. Does FIFA also give some money to FF? Yes, Hannibal. Every country, every federation in the world gets money from FIFA. Your thoughts about plethora of players released from ISL clubs? Haven't seen so much being let off at the end of the season. Which, as said, we don't know where the whole story is going. Yeah, and therefore, yeah, let's wait and see. It's because I think a lot of clubs are doing a wait and watch approach, and even season pros might be out of contract in the coming weeks. So let's wait and see where we go. By the way, sadly, 2 fans die in PSG celebration. Yeah, Blue, there's been some level of violence across France after PSG won, and this seems to be something which has been happening in a lot of different countries when certain teams win, that there has been violence. Yeah, not good. Many football players face a difficult decision when considering naturalization to play for another country, often having to leave behind their families and homeland in pursuit of international options. I don't think so. What are they leaving behind? They're just changing their passport, right? They're not moving countries when you naturalize, right? So I don't know where you get that from. Do India have sufficient resources to become powerhouse? People often criticize players for poor performance in Olympics, but fail to criticize federation people because they didn't get support. Listen, morally, everyone is at fault. Even the athletes are at fault. To me, can't take them out. So therefore, yes, you can criticize the federation, you can criticize the government, you can criticize whoever you want, even coaches, whatever. And the players also have something, to try and be better. We were really interested in hosting 2027 AFC Asian Cup, and why we pulled out the bid suddenly. Ayush, yes, we were, but we pulled out, and still today, I think it's a mystery why we pulled out. There was nothing being said why we pulled out. Paula says, Diamond, how we see have approached Sonny Nordi, Brighton Avakare, and Joseph Abitia for I-League. And this shows you, Polish, that the club is really, okay, I understand Joseph Abitia because Kibu Vicuña is the coach, and those two know each other, and they won the I-League at Montbagan. Sonny Nordi, I don't know, is he good enough for the I-League still? And Brighton Avakare has had, I don't know where he is actually at the moment. It shows you that typical Kolkata style, we're living in the past, right? So let's see. Football is not a list of our nation's priority. Yeah, man, that's a reality. That is a sad reality of Indian football in this year 2025, which shows you the prioritizations that the government has made is a nice thing to look at on paper. But I said this last week, to me, it's a very theoretical process where you decide, okay, these are the criteria I'm setting. This is why, you have to qualify according to these criteria. And, and to me, that's a problem, right? So yeah, this prioritization is a very theoretical thing, and it's far away from the realities. Because if the government would understand that football as a soft power, they would utilize it. Steve was more optimistic about results at anyhow during his tenure. He was not that much expressive, but he'd done a great job. Steve era was the worst ever for Indian football, I feel. Stephen was very critical about things which are not right. Stephen Constantine criticized the AIFF, criticized the leadership of the AIFF when he thought he had to do so. And he did this a few times over the years, be it in his first stint, especially Mr. Dasmunsi didn't like it in those days. And he even criticized Prophet Patel or the others at some stage. So therefore, yeah, that's something that he does. Is it like in Europe that the grassroots in youth football is done by academies and clubs like Iran Federation Young Champs helps local academies in Mizoram? Is the same in Europe? No. There is no RFYC in Europe. It's done by the clubs and the academies, and more by clubs. In large parts of Europe, you don't even have academies per se. It's all through the clubs, through local clubs. PFF buys AK-47 rocket launchers. AIFF president buys his personal staff with the aids. off by FIFA. Okay. Monok, Noah, linked to Bangalore FC and Mumbai City FC. What's your thoughts on this? So, Ginred, he's been one of the better one. Better performance in the last few years. The question is, there's a level of selfishness in his game. They want to allow it. Manolo got a certain bit out of him. Let's wait and see. But yeah, let's see. Again, once certain things are settled, I guess we'll have a little bit of an ISL merry-go-round. And I think we're waiting for that to happen. Yeah, so let's wait and see what happens. Prediction for Thailand game. What should be our front three? We should Nikhil Prabhu start. XYZ, to me, front three. Sunil up front, Shante on the wing, on one wing, and most probably Liston on the other. If you ask me, and Nikhil Prabhu, don't see that. If he wants to experiment, Nikhil could get a chance. But normally, I think Apuya and Suresh will start in defensive positions in midfield. Hi, Kumar. VfB Stuttgart star Angelo Stiller to Real Madrid. They say he is the next horse in Germany. Might break in German squad soon. He's been a player of the Germany squad. He's even made his debut, so he's not going to break into the squad soon. He's just injured now, and so he's out of the squad. Otherwise, he would have been part of the UEFA Nations League squad. Yeah, Angelo Stiller will go to a big club. Maybe this summer, maybe next summer. I don't know. To me, I think it would be wise with the World Cup coming up next year for Angelo Stiller to stay another year. So let's wait and see. Hypothetical scenario: if OCI players the national team, will current players' market value will become low? I'm just curious. They are losing the national team sport also, and they're not any more national team player. Goku, these hypothetical scenarios you never know. The problem is the PIOs will not change the scene of the players playing in the ISL, right? These players will be the key players in the ISL national team or not. I think some clubs would even be happy if the players don't play national team because then they've got less matches a season. So therefore, for me, if you ask me that way, I don't think it will reduce the salaries of the players. The only thing that could change it is if you see how the whole understanding of signing players is there, and you see at the moment that if you've got a player, like for example, people in Kolkata were saying, oh, Mehtab Singh is going to go to Mumbai, Mehtab Singh is going to go to East Bengal, and then Mumbai City slaps a ridiculous transfer fee on him because he's a contractor next year and is trying to extend, so yeah. By the way, son, no, but suddenly people in India are getting jailed for disrespecting gods and prophets, both in social media. Holding Assam police is doing its priorities. Yeah, this again, it's a problem, but it is also a problem for the people who are disrespecting things, right? So I guess we should be telling the Kolkata police, Assam police that people who are disrespecting Indian football should be arrested. Maybe that would help Indian football. Oh, now I'm so happy for Luis Enrique. What a team he's built. Is phenomenal in the final. When I was watching the performance, I'm delighted. Yeah, Kumar. I think everybody it was a masterclass. And Inzaghi had his masterclass against Barca and Bayern, but this was at another level. And yeah, great also with the players. I mean, let me just quickly name the starting lineup on Saturday, right? This was really impressive to say the least. If you look at the lineups of both the teams, where are the lineups? Sorry, it was impressive to think that this team, this lineup could play the game the way they did. So for me, Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Nuno Mendes in defense. The middle three of the center, Vitinha, João Neves, Fabian Ruiz, and then you had Kvaratskhelia, Dembele and Doué up front. And that's, Marquinhos is a superstar. Dembele is a very big name, but the others are not that big names. I mean, Fabian Ruiz won the Euros last year. João Neves, very, very talented youngsters. Donnarumma, of course, is also a big name. But so that's an interesting one where I'd say this team has done very, very well. Football is not a national priority because, why Indians can't understand soft power, even ruin Bollywood's accidental power in Russia, Middle East, Africa. Okay. I don't know how, but yeah. Constantine was a strict coach and a so-called GOAT, and some of the senior players whose relation with him was not that great. We sacked him. Bitter truth? No. He resigned himself after the loss against Bahrain. I remember I was on the way to the Indian team hotel. I was actually sitting in a car with I'm Vijayan, with Sananda Dhar, with Shura Dotto. Someone else was in the car as well, and we got to know that he resigned at the press conference. So no, the senior players never got rid of him. This whole senior players' power thing is something which has been built up by a lot of people, but I don't know where the reality lies. What's up with Anzalo's nose? This is break it. People are bullying him for it on social media. Yeah, he'd broken it. He had an accident as well. Also, the cut on the lip as well. Again, in Germany, it's not a topic. Maybe it's in the English language social media space. Chess has become a great esport now. Okay. They don't care whether they would have the hate speech done in election campaigns and powerful people can disrespect. That's also a problem, yeah. That's true, Blue. Will Manolo stay with national team? Almost as far as I know, no. As far as I understand it, he will most probably leave post the game. So that is what my understanding is. Post the Hong Kong game, we will get to know that, that I think the AIFF and Manolo don't want to upset the apple cart at this moment. By the way, Frankfurt would see in the matches was Thailand, Hong Kong, and Bangladesh. Yes, we spoke about it early on. The 3 upcoming away matches in the 2025 calendar year will all be shown on fan code. And that's also for me a bad sign that Star Sports is not showing matches of the Indian football team. So if we compare ISL and Chinese Super League, do you think ISL have more sustainability and better fan base than Chinese Super League? I know the comparison is not good, but want to know your thoughts. No. And I'll tell you why this comparison doesn't work. The Chinese Super League is much, much bigger, better infrastructure, more organized fans, more money in the system. So, sustainability is even worse in our league, right? But the problem is that you can't compare us to any of these leagues, right? Today, AIFF posted a video where every shot is going into the net, where goalkeepers made aware of the fact that shooting is on. We to see keepers letting those shots in. Manok, maybe it's a little one-sided. Maybe they didn't show the shots which were saved or which went past the goal. I don't know. While I see photos today of Gurpreet Singh Sandhu being in Germany and having watched on Saturday the Champions League final, while we are training in Thailand. So yeah, that's something not to forget, right? Zidane says, "Bhalo coach to lagbe ar ki kora jay." He says, "We need a good coach. What can be done?" Zidane, once Manolo says, "Thank you very much. I'm leaving. I'm staying with FC Goa." And then we have to start scouting and searching for a new coach. We've got matches in September, so they've got some time for the AIFF to actually get someone in. U17 থেকে কষ্ট করতে হবে. Zidane says you have to work hard from the under 17s onwards. 100%. You have to work very, very hard. Maybe to increase the confidence of our strikers, attackers, says Polosh. Polosh as an answer to Moinok. To me, again, this video is, yeah, I don't know. I generally wanted our players should earn less in ISL if they are paying this money. Of future players also not think about moving abroad for future opportunity. I understand a player career wants to be stable within a few years so they can live, but this ultimately killing our players' opportunity of this mindset play in ISL. Oh, yes, you have a point over there, but the problem is who will give them a chance abroad? Right? Where is the quality of our players that they can go outside of India and play football? Right? That's the real concern, right? At this moment in time is where are our players that could go abroad and say, you know what, they could play here or there or somewhere. We don't have those players, right? So yeah. Hi Anurag, do you think Manoj will choose his most trusted players or try to experiment a bit in coming friendly? Anurag, I would think, looking at our game against Bangladesh, that Manolo will try and figure out his first 11 for the Hong Kong game. Or do a little bit of mixture, maybe try out 2 or 3 players, but not more. He will not go in for an experimental 11. Might be wrong, but that's my understanding about how he works and operates. So can we discuss things about Keane Lewis? Once he was an amazing young player, but fitness injuries ruined his career. I rate him very high during his time. Yeah, Keane is an example of a number of players whose career has been cut short due to injury, right? So therefore, for me, he's now gotten into coaching. That's a good sign. And let's wait and see what he can do. AIFF doesn't have money, they'll go for Khalid. I don't even know if Khalid wants to take the job. That would be my first question. He was offered U23s. He turned it down, right? Naushad Musa was the one who's now taken it up. So therefore, before thinking if Khalid is going to do it or not, the question has to be asked, does Khalid want it or not? And that's the challenge, I think, that there is for the All India Football Federation, to see if the coach wants it or not. Right, 54 minutes nearly. Quick reminder to all of you, you're liking the content, you're liking the discussion, please do leave a like behind. 16 likes so far, thank you very much. Also, if you are new maybe to the channel, you're liking the conversation, you're liking the discussion, you have some questions, some queries, subscribe to the channel, and then you can ask your questions. And yeah, welcome always to the new subscribers. We're slowly growing. And do watch the short videos that I try and make on a nearly daily basis. Yesterday did something on PSG, and then before that on the Appeals Commission regarding Interkashi, Oscar extending his contract. India under 23 is my exclusive interview with Prichit Das. I'm trying to set up something with Brown Ballers FC ahead of the TST 7 versus 7 in America, in which Brown Ballers FC will face our very own Raul KP playing for West Ham. So the first match is between Brown Ballers FC and West Ham United. So Indian origin players taking on someone who's been part of the Indian national teams. So that's going to be an interesting one as well. And as always, thank you very much for your support. AIFF can be bankrupt in few years if they are not going to bring framework and better constitution. Again, I think the constitution is not a problem. Framework, can be discussed. I think they need to see how they can commercialize the game. That's the most important thing. The costs are going up day by day, but the AIFF is not able to generate more money. That's the big problem at the moment for the AIFF. Sir, predictions for the Thailand game. Ishan, I'd be happy if we can draw. I'll take a win any day, but yeah. Let's see what we can do. And now that if Indian players have real wages, what will be paid in Europe, 5th division or 4th division? Can clubs reduce the losses drastically? Yeah. At 50 level in Europe, you are a semi-pro or amateur. So you have a day job and play football on the side. So if you have that, your multi-crore contracts suddenly become, okay, you're going to get 5,000 or maybe 10,000 rupees as a salary. So that's but that's not going to happen, right? So therefore, that comparison doesn't work, Kumar. What do you think about the Thailand squad? One player is playing for national club, other two players are playing for Japanese club, all other players are domestic. Goku, Thailand is a settled team. They are better now than they were a few years back. So for me, that's a factor, and we'll have to see what they have. Home advantage. I think that's something which you should have. But that's why I said I would be happy with a draw. If we can win, even better. But I'll take a draw. Masatada Ishii is their head coach. And he's been around for some time now, and interesting to see. And they have some of the Thai-born boys who are born abroad. We have got Ilyas Dola, for example, born in Lund in Sweden. And so therefore, this is interesting to see. Interesting to see what we can do in the squad. Interesting to see that some of the European-based players are missing. That Niklas Mikkelsen, is born in Norway, played Norway in the youth teams is not there. So someone who's plays now in Denmark is missing, and some others are also missing for other reasons. So therefore, interesting to see what we can do against Thailand. Club World Cup going to be joy to watch this time. I feel better format with amazing teams. Rare, it's quite interesting that you are saying that, because in Germany there's been a lot of criticism of that tournament. Too much football, this, that, everything. And I see this. Let's see what happens. What do you think about the Thailand squad? One players. We just spoke about it. Do you think dropping Gurpreet Singh Sandhu's national camp can be a blessing in disguise for him? He's had no real competition for #1 spot and been in Bangalore for the last few years. Maybe he will push more now. Ishan, I think Gurpreet as a character, as a person, is someone he will push himself always to the max. Gurpreet has been, that goalkeeper. If you see this summer, he's gone to Norway, trained with Stabæk, and let's see if it's helped him. Okay, Professor. So what I know, whatever has happened in promotional league, I'm getting disturbing reports that relegation has been stopped for no reason at all. Aditya, nice that you're getting reports of relegation has been stopped. Just follow social media. You know what's been happening. Appeals committee has stopped that as well, and let's see what happens. How do you view the discussion on SARC to not be recognized foreigners in South Asian leagues? Ishan, it's happening in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is implementing it. I don't know if the others will do it, but again, the question for India is if they're going to be quality enough to come into India to play in the top level of Indian football. Very simple, and that is where I have my doubts. And we'll have to wait and see what happens for Bangladesh. Interesting. Let's see. What is your opinion on all this Interkashi AIFF fiasco? Also, please talk about the biasness of Marcus and Goans who have never ever went to Churchill game. Aditya, Marcus has gone to many Churchill Brothers games. I don't know where you get your infos from. Yeah, biasness is there. We'll have to see what happens. Now both cases are at CAS, and especially the second one could be a huge problem for the AIFF if CAS decides in favor of Interkashi, because then the question is, let's see what happens. In the earlier days, people say nobody wanted to play football in India due to lack of good salary. Now it's the complete opposite. Money is killing football. Angry Birds, the reality is money has not helped in Indian sports. Forget football. Let's generalize this. I was telling someone the afternoon, a management guy who's been working in Indian sports for a while, actually for over 2 decades, and I was telling that person, that there is too much money in Indian sports, which is on one side fine in my opinion, but if the quality doesn't reflect the money that you're paying to the athletes, it is spoiling the athletes, and that's the reality. During a seminar, I asked a few of market players why they don't want to get associated with Indian football. They simply said the quality of games only we want to make loss of time and money. Okay, yeah, realities, right? Do you think even with a better football culture compared to SAF, ASEAN hadn't got the same success they thought? Renal, ASEAN lives a little bit in their own world. So let's not compare them to India or whatever else. To me, the SAF region is the SAF region, yeah, is one of the worst regions in the world. We have to accept that. Maybe the worst, sorry. But on the other side, ASEAN, if you look at the ASEAN Club Cup, look at the ASEAN Championship for national teams, it's insane competition. They're fine with it, right? And then you have some teams like Man United or Liverpool or Spanish German clubs coming in there playing. They live in their own world. So internationally, they've not been successful. No, that's also a reality. I know that we should bring a coach like Stephen who lives with Indian football realities, who focuses on results with the short and long-term, not traditional dreams of Indian current players' ability. Yeah, Kumar, but Stephen is still with Pakistan, and with Mohsen Gilani winning the PFF presidentship race, Stephen has stayed there. So I don't know if Stephen's going to come back for a third stint. Please no, Stephen, I don't want to see direct football again. Aditya, we don't have options, right? Rushabh says, Aditya, you think we can play tiki-taka? That's what these players can do without foreigners being around them. Yeah, that's the reality. And Moinok answers, Aditya, style of football is completely dependent on quality of the players. Exactly. So to me, we have to accept that we have a quality issue. We have a quality problem. And as long as we don't want to accept that, we cannot develop Indian football. If Igor Stimac was delusional in trying to tell us, guys, we can play, passing football, combination football. We can't. We have to be honest to ourselves, right? That's the reality of Indian football today in the year 2025. Our football players are not in a position to play the kind of football that, for example, a national coach is talking about. And if we don't want to accept that, we're not in a position to progress. Because as long as we think that we can do this, we can do that, it's not going to happen. And Angry Birds answers direct football. If it can give us results, then why not? Exactly. Very well said, Angry Birds. I think we have to be honest, pragmatic, and realistic. And that is why I rate Stephen Constantine and I rate Bob Houghton so highly. Yeah, because they would realize what they can do and what they can't do, right? I don't even see SAF as an association. It's a bunch of clowns who make fake statements and so nothing and loves to enjoy in their own bubble. I think here and there it's a little harsh. I know that people in SAF wanted to try and change things, but they've always struggled with the AIFF. The AIFF is the big boy, and the AIFF is, the AIFF in SAF is like the BCCI and the ICC, right? We control, we say. But the funny one is that we haven't had an Indian president in that region for a while. But in what the AIFF says and does, decides on what happens with the rest. The club championship, for example, that the SAF, has been talking about now for 16, 17, 18 years, has not come to reality because the Indian federation and the league structure, the clubs don't want to give a window for that. Hi, Akash. Do you think players like Jingan or Beke, Ayush, Boris can survive national leagues in England? If you're talking about the 50th National League, no. How to punish those footballers who can't perform in national team? What's your opinion? Kishore, punishment, what kind of punishment? When they can't perform, you have to also realize that there is a lack of quality now. So for me, how punish them? I don't know. What you're going to take them out of the team and then you got someone else in who's going to be worse than them? That's another problem. What difference you see India government running football federation over to other parts of the world? Indian government is not running the football federation, Murali. I don't know where you get this from. The AIFF is running independently. One thing you like and hate about Indian football. Oh, what do I like about Indian football? That there are still people who are trying to fight for a better future of Indian football, and on the other side there are people who are actually destroying, which I hate the most, that the people who know better are not doing something. Too much money just killing the quality of players. We can say Prithvi Shaw from Cricket is the best of same from U19 captain of India to unsold, ignored an IPL auction. Okay, again, British companies are getting ready for Third World War. Who says that? Angry Birds. Who's told you that? I don't know. Again, be careful with your sources. Well, next time I want to be born anywhere outside Milky Way galaxy, so may I not be able to see AIFF ki or Kartuch. Okay. Akash says AIFF must have a contract system for national team playing. Also, if they have contract system, they can punish them at least on papers. Akash, that is not how national teams work, in football at least. How far geopolitics affects sports? It has an effect on sport, as with anything else. And now I'm saying coaches like Steve, not exactly him. Will you not get coaches like him who have a mentality? Of course, Kumar. I would love to have someone with an international experience, with an international understanding of football to come in and coach the Indian national team. Yes, that's what I would like to see. As long as direct football giving us result, why not? Exactly. That's the thing. It's at the end of the day, it's a result. We are not going to change our Indian football playing system, as it is. Why Gurpreet Singh Sandhu is not in the squad? Bikash, it's a question for Manolo to ask. I don't know. Manolo doesn't rate him to be one of the top 3, one of the top 4 goalkeepers. So therefore he's not in the squad. But it's a question for him to ask. Akash says, Dada, my head cannot cope the fact that Manolo's chosen Boris and Ayush over much better form players in ISL. Very soon your focus system will be sponsorless. Who are the better performers than Boris and Ayush? I would like to know, Akash, from your perspective. Manolo is biased with FC Goa. Bikash, every coach is biased about certain players. I think it's time to appoint Indian coach who has emotion for India. Khalid will be best choice. Yeah, Yanadri, and that is what exactly I think is wrong. I tell you something which I say again and again. A lot of people hate that when I say that. I'll be arrogant on that point. I say that players of Indian origin, people of Indian origin, have more emotion towards India than Indians have, because then Indians wouldn't treat India as they treat India. They say we love India, we have emotion for India, we have passion for India, but you do not behave that way, right? And in sports, I know that to me, a Stephen, a Bob, a Manolo, even Nico Stimac, they are. And if you're going to, the point is then the quality of the coach comes in. So you're telling me that Khalid is a better coach than Manolo, than Bob, than Stephen? Then there is no point of discussion. Akash says, DSM, I said this season he was below average at best. Yeah, but who was good in the ISL, right? I think the point that I've been making for a while in regard to goalkeepers about Vishal Keth, it was proven, right? That Vishal Keth to me is not good enough to be an Indian national team goalkeeper. And to me, that was proven in the game against Bangladesh. If Shubhashish Bose had not saved his club goalkeeper, the guy would have gone under, right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's the reality. People are showering Hong Kong performance because of one goal and first the performance, very piercing Indian defense. Kumar, it was a friendly, it was Man United. Let's see what they can do against India. Again, yeah. So that's the reality. There is a proverb in Bengali, Gada pitiye ki ghora banano jai. So it's that, can you make a horse by beating a donkey, so to say? I think that's I think sort of the translation. So therefore, for me, yeah, reality. Welcome to Indian football. Exactly, Ronaldo. I think this bunch of players cannot even sustain non-league matches. They are pathetic at best. Sunday league players are much more professional, I think, is what Akash wants to say. Yeah, sadly, that's the reality. Akash, you forgot about his national team performance that he was giving since 2014 since Bikash. Agree on Gurpreet. Players are paid good amount of money. Game-wise, zero. Why? Who started this? The day that you started paying players. Even Afghanistan have better manager than ours. I don't think so. You're going to rate Anis higher than Mano? Okay, I wouldn't do that. Mano told in our with Master Deer that he doesn't see Gurpreet currently, but doesn't want to bench him when he wouldn't deserve. Yeah, I've heard that as well. That if he's not picking Gurpreet, if he picks Gurpreet, he doesn't want to put him on the bench. Khalid Park, the bus strategy will absolutely expose our players on the net. Okay, Akash, where do you see India hockey still needs to improve? Yeah, they need to improve. They're good, but you know. Where is Uncle Park Young-seo? Is he good choice after Mano left national team? Kishore, he is wasn't he the now something in the South Korean Football Association or something? I don't know. In Vietnam, if you speak to people who understand Vietnam football, they're actually quite critical of him. Right. So it's very interesting what fans think about someone like him, but I know from someone in the federation, not working. Chandra Sen or Singto will be the best option for national team if we have to choose Indian manager. Akash, I don't even want to think about choosing an Indian manager. That is already the first mistake. Sorry, I am not going down that route. If you ask me, it has to be someone international and someone with international knowledge and understanding. That's to me a very, very important priority if you want to choose the right, if what I feel and think is the right coach for the Indian national team. Sorry. So that's the challenge that we have, right? 1 hour 14 minutes. 20 of you are watching. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, leave a like behind. 17 likes so far. Thank you. Let's grow the community. Share with other people. If you're new, you're liking the conversation, do subscribe to the channel. Ask your questions also, and watch the short videos that I make on a regular basis. Made something on Paris Saint-Germain earlier on the AIFF Appeals Committee decision regard to Interkashi, Oscar Bozon extending contract, India under 23s, and of course, about 5 days back, that longer interview, honest interview with Prithvi Das of Interkashi. Tradawala says, no more hopes for Indian football. Sometimes I curse myself. Why do I love this sport so much? I'm really tired of seeing our national football team losing. Sometimes feel like I should stop. Tradawala, I get your feeling. I get your feeling. But I always say and think and believe uh, that you have to support the team, especially in bad phases, right? And confidence, believe, I have, don't have. But never stop supporting the team. That's what I would say. We would have lost 0-2 against Bangladesh if both hadn't saved certain ones. Now I think we should have lost that game to expose our goals. Akash, sometimes yes, but on the other side, if we'd lost that game, maybe already our AFC Asian Cup qualification in the final round would have been over. Do you think China women team better than men in football? The results would say yes, right? China is one of the top teams in women's football. We Indians have bad habits of hype our opponents rather than focus on our own football. We done same with Bangladesh case, now we're doing same in Hong Kong case. Yeah, very good, right? Why Igor Stimac leaves? I don't think he was so bad. Well, because he was a disaster. He was a disaster for a while, in my opinion. I think Stimac was a disaster, and we didn't call it out, right? And that's the reality. Also, Steven was very good, but yeah, he decided to leave on his own. Guys, do you watch short videos of Sir? They are short, crisp, with accurate on topics. Thank you again. I try to explain it, and I realize also that some of you are asking questions which you could get answered by me in my short videos. So do watch those, right? Please do watch those, spread them to others. A lot of interesting ones. Sometimes, again, I also feel that the ones which are really interesting, really good, don't get the views, right? So there's some topics which are close to my heart. Let's see. Live telecast India-Thailand match. Kishore, it is going to be on FanCode. Both the match in Thailand against Thailand, the match against Hong Kong in Hong Kong, as well as the Bangladesh away match. All these matches in the coming months will be on FanCode. So that has been announced by the AIFF today. But Igor is not that level of Steven and Igor. Bikash, not of the Steven depth. I agree, but I would rate Manolo higher than Igor Stimac. Yeah, if you ask me. Irv Renard type of coach I want to see for Indian football, says DD. Yeah, I would love to see such a coach, but Irv Renard needs a certain type of quality of player to be able to play his game. And we don't have that quality. I don't know how realistic, so therefore, yeah, I want to see. Would love to see such a coach. I would love to see Renard coaching India, but I need the quality for a coach like him to be able to produce results. I remember, I saw him in India. I remember he was coaching Zambia. Zambia, I think, was the country he was coaching in a tournament in Goa. Liked him at the time, and he's come a long way. As information from Gear and Rare, FanCode Airtel Extreme app will telecast the match of both Thailand and Hong Kong in India. Okay, that is an important piece of info. So FanCode and the Airtel Extreme app are showing the game. And now that we cannot do anything positive in AFC Asian Cup, even if we qualify, rather if we qualify, people will take that as progress, which is definitely not. We need to get exposed. Akash, we're getting exposed at Asian level this way or that way. If we're going to qualify, that is not a success. It should be, it should be the most normal thing for us to qualify. Why everyone takes part in success, even the government and the person who have no business claim, but during transition period, nobody cares about us. Forget transition, about in failure, morally, they're not there. Yeah, that's India for you. That sums up India for you. Trader Walla says, I was watching Indian football when no one knew that we had a national team. I'm always positive. Great. Good to hear that. I understand your frustration on the other side with the team, with Indian football, what is happening. And therefore, that's, let's see. Anava, will you collect question next time ahead of your next planned interview? Roshan, I can try. But sometimes, for example, this Prithi's interview came up very short notice. Again, within a few hours, we decided to do it and we got it done. So sometimes there's not the time. That's my problem. I would love to have done a lot of interviews over the last few weeks and months, but sadly, timing is like this life. I've been not able to do it in the last few days, so that's the reality. Akash, why are you so negative about AFC and for Indian team? In football fans back their teams at any cost. That spirit we need. Yeah, Yundra, that's the point. How good is Saudi nation? Saudis are one of the better nations in Asian football, world football. No, one would say, but again, they were the only team to beat Argentina in the last World Cup. Don't forget that. And in club football, yes, their teams are amongst the best as well. I can remember the 2012 when I started to watch Indian football, people used to say we will play World Cup at 24, 25, but now we are talking about either India can compete Bangladesh or not. Inatri, yeah. I'll tell you an old story. In 1998, when I started IndianFootball.com as the first ever platform on Indian football, in 1999, we had, Germany got the World Cup. 2001, we had the World Cup qualification draw. Chris Ponakato Daniel, a very good friend and partner in crime, and Daniel Ponato, we created a section called India's Passage to Germany. We thought 2006, why not? India can get there, especially, tours in 2000, 2001, we beat the UAE. I thought 2006, why not? You have a dream, you have a hope. But the competition over the last 25 years, if I look back at what I thought in 2000, if I look at the competition today, the competition in 2025 is much, much tougher in world football than it was in the year 2000. If I like it or not, that's a reality. And that is which is harming us a lot and very, very much. Also to watch covering German football with a channel name RS1 TV, if I'm not wrong. Yes, RS1 TV, not RSTV1, RS1 TV. But we were in German, so doing hard work in cold days. Thanks, Gyan. Yeah, co-founder of a local channel. Yeah, so RS1 TV, as we call it in German, to watch as well if you want. Only our Indian football could be saved when we had good young players, especially U23, U18. 100%. Not only are U23, again, U20, U17, younger across the age groups. So, yeah, we need that. Akash has replied to Gandria, supporting national team, supporting bunch of incompetent lazy is different, isn't it? Akash, these lazy, incompetent, whatever you're calling them, that is your national team. So criticize them, question them, but support the team. That is, I think, the point that someone like Gandria or even myself would make to you and everybody else. Constantine said, we are not technical gifted player like Iran, but we had warrior mentality and fighting spirit. Do you think currently it is missing? Yes, Murali, 100%. Murali, we've discussed it multiple times. Kishore is asking how to be a part of AIFF official. What is the criteria and why Indian referees are not welcomed by AFC or FIFA, irrespective of any age matches? Not seen none till now except SAF. See, there are AFF. There are different levels, right? To me, one side you can be a staff in the AIFF when they look for people, different positions. If you're qualified, and if you're part of a state football association, you could become part of the AIFF Exco, and then even higher positions in the AIFF. Indian referees, it's not true because I've seen quite a number of referees officiate in competitions. ACL2 had Indian referees, women's competitions have had referees. So, yeah. Trader Wallace says, I got this addiction from my father. He's a great supporter of Mohun Bagan. And I see the derby, it's awesome. That turns to an addiction. Yeah, that's great. But it is important on one side to support your club. But I also say, it doesn't apply to you, Trader Walla, but it applies to other people. You need to support your country as well. My hope for both the upcoming matches, 10%, I don't know why. The problem is the trust and the belief in the national team has gone. We've lost that in the last few years. So therefore, for me, it is something that we need to see what what can be done. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Arun will give us BMW if you reach milestone subscription. Show us. Arun fan. I mean, yeah. Well, you're changing cars every day. Whenever you're saying this, if I was an influencer and a content creator who's earning a lot, then we can talk about this. This I do in my spare time. So no, not happening anytime. If we get maybe to 1 million mark and I'm actually earning money from this, then we can talk about this. But otherwise, thank you for subscribing to the channel and supporting arunfoot. It's high time AIFF and clubs need to understand one thing. If we keep continuing like this, we will become Southall United of Goal Movie. Southall United of Goal Movie was, I think, more professional than this year on rare. You're right, Dada. We had hope before at least 2019. We were good, really good under Constantine. Akasha even had a good feeling at the start of Iko Steamer's reign because the quality of Steven's team spilled over, right? I remember seeing India versus Oman in Guwahati. They lost 2-1 in the end, but for 70 minutes we were better than Oman. In Qatar, we were able. A few days later, I was in Doha. We drew Qatar 0-0. Qatar were better, no doubt about it. But yeah, but we gave them a fight, and this is something which is lacking at the moment. By the way, will the new Interkashik case got into will be heard and cast alongside the previous case will be treated as a different if they're supposed to get the league winner before season start. Blue, I think Interkashi will try and club those two cases together, but those are two different cases, so they potentially, I think, CAS might be hearing because they're two different issues. Yeah, let's wait and see. So I'm not sure what CAS will do. I think SAC quota could be a better idea across all the leagues than considering them locals. For ISL clubs could sign origin players of SAC countries. Also, ISL might get more worship. Rushabh, and that's the thing which I'm not sure about if it's going to work or not. Why would origin players come to India? Because to me, what I see with origin players coming to South Asia, you might come short notice for money. You think you can get more and this and that and everything. But will it make you better? Will you yourself grow? Will your football grow? Will your country grow? That is the challenge. And to me, I'm not sure if this is going to work. If the ISL would be willing to accept it. We've had players from Nepal playing in India. We've had players from Bhutan, Bangladesh playing in India. How much of an impact has it had on those countries? As of now, I think that Igor is not that bad. Gaming Warriors wouldn't agree on that. I think Indian team will do well in upcoming games. I hope for the best. Let's hope you are right on this. Any SAC country fan would really love to watch their best players playing in ISL, right? Rushabh, we've had, let's say, Achencho playing, at BFC, at Blasters. Before that, Minerva. We've had the Nepal goalkeeper at Punjab FC. We've had a few of them. Jamal Bhuyan playing for Mohammedan Sporting in the Zai League days. I don't know how much it has. My uncle was a local footballer. My father used to cheer him. My uncle used to follow national team during 80s and 90s. He also said today's national team cannot stand besides of early 2000s. Akash, very interesting point. The problem is that I think that football has moved on a lot from the early 2000s. If I see, I don't know, a midfield of a Ranil Singh, a Khalid Jamil, a Hardeep Singh Sangha, and a Clifford Miranda, or a Stephen Dias, can they withstand today's midfield? I'm not sure. I'm the first one in my family who follows football. Not sure if that would have, if I had grown up in India, since we have in every corner in Germany. Roshan, that's an interesting one. Despite being Malayali, that you are the first one who follows football, because Malayalis have an interest and a love for the sport. But yeah, who knows? But as you say, here in Germany, for us, it's very normal. Just how far we have come from that period. Akash, we've just fallen behind. My own expectation of our national team, women's national team, return, they adjust, they perform better. I hope they put up a good fight and not lazy. Games. Let's see. The women's are already a problem. Wasn't better. Let's see what the other matches shows. Your thoughts on FC Goa versus Al-Seeb. No, not Al-Seeb. Al-Seeb. Tough one, right? Let's see how FC Goa is, and then we'll see. Do you think India should leave SAF and join other competitive confederations? It's not going to happen. We are part of SAF, and we are leaving nothing to go elsewhere. Where are we going to go? I follow Indian football since 2002. I think one thing I noticed, India will not concede 6 or 7 goals against any bigger team. I'm very wrong. What do you think? Problem is that they can't score. See, Kishore, I think India could have conceded 5-6 goals against Australia, Uzbekistan in the Asian Cup. Both didn't really go for it. Yeah, but we did concede goals. Even under Steve Gonsalves, we conceded 7 goals away to Japan, right? So it has happened in the past and will happen in the future again. It happened to UAE under Steamach a few years back. This time we have an injury-free squad, got ample time to gel. Let's see what is waiting. And Monarch, those are good signs at least. No injuries, extended camp. But again, are those problems that a lot of people tell me is within the squad? Does that still exist or has that gone? That's the observation for us to see. For sure, the 4th of June, we will win the game against Thailand by 2-1 or 1-0 for sure. Save it, guys. Okay, we're there. If it happens, you're going to get a shout out. Let's wait and see. I personally feel so the day when from the higher level to lower levels, football will be transparent in India, then only there will be development. When I was a kid, I was also an amateur footballer. Chidawala, yeah, a lot of hope. The word hope is something which in Indian Football Connection I'm using a lot. So therefore, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know. I would hope that things change, but very difficult. Harun Amir spent so much time in India, and his performance game against us was quite good. Not the best example, but from viewership point of view, best SAC players would come, if not origin ones. Yeah, Amiri came 2011 to Mumbai FC, if I'm not wrong. Great character, a crazy guy on the field sometimes, but great character, Amiri. And he always gives 100%. So let's wait and see. Any difference you find when it comes to event management in India and Europe? Yeah, morally, the whole organization, the operations are different. I'm oblivious about national team result at this point. We're very much happy if we win, but if we lose, we'll try not to think too much. Oh, Blue, that's difficult. Akash says, I saw your interview with Hundal. The way he talks shows his level of professionalism. Yeah, Shan Hundal is a pro and good striker added on top of that. Rusha says, I think our performance against Australia was decent and we wouldn't have conceded 5-6 goals like you said, but that this performance was big, and I agree with you. I think, see, Australia, I've spoken to a good Aussie friend of mine, and he thought that Australia, because it was the first match, didn't go all out. If we played Australia in the second or third match, who knows? So therefore, and Australia had, if Australia got going in the second half, that 5-6 goal would have been possible. Uzbekistan 5-6 was, they stopped after 3-0. Let's be honest about that. So, yeah, those are realities. I think benching Tangri was a mistake. Yeah, could be. I don't care about Thailand game, Hong Kong game matters. Blue, very much my viewpoint as well. I think we need to be honest to ourselves that we need to be prepared for that Hong Kong game. Everything should be geared up to that Hong Kong game. And that's the game that counts. Any good memories and bad memories you get visiting India regarding sports you find difficult to adjust in conditions coming from structured country? Murali, the one thing I always struggle with is sometimes I'm very German in this that I like to stand in line and wait at my chance in a queue. And in India, people just come forward and walk past you. And this is, I remember last year I had a huge headache and I wanted to buy some pills against the headache. And I'm standing at the counter. And then one, two, three, four people stand to say, hey, they want this, they want that, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my turn, and then actually I have to jump in to get it. I hate that. Same thing is that lining up, queuing up for flights, right? Um, and regarding sports, yeah, of course there are good memories. Again, some great matches, some great achievements. Again, me playing for the Bayern Munich legends in Kolkata will be something which nobody can take away from me. So a lot of these small little things, but again, when I, for example, left Mumbai City, I thought I had failed because we didn't reach the playoffs. Well, no, those were some of the bad ones. I want all of our players should start going live so that we can motivate them. Deep, you might think it might be a good thing, and I don't think that's from a fan's perspective, it might make sense. From players' perspective, I think Indian players from 48 hours before a game should stop using social media. Australia as a football nation is on a decline. Honestly, what they were in 2000, they're nowhere near now. As your friend gave a lame excuse. I don't think, Rishabh, that it's a lame excuse. Australia is nowhere near, that's clear. But they're still good enough to score 4-5 against us. That's also a reality. How good player was there? Henry, now fast he was. Yeah, Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry was a world-class player. One of the best of his generation. The way Indian football is going, I'm afraid that this time we can qualify for the Asian Cup. Trader, that's the big thing. Let's hope we do. Indians don't have patience. Yeah, Blue, that's the problem. They want to be first in everything, and yeah. We need to do this, need to do that, but nothing is done. Everyone just came for their pockets. The system is known as AIFF. Ritam, don't just call it AIFF, but the stakeholders also, right, were a part of this. To just blame always the AIFF, I feel is very, very easy. But the stakeholders need to also take some accountability of their own failures. Nobody takes accountability. Everyone points at the AIFF. The AIFF is a problem, yes. Yeah. So that's the thing. Do you carry any sentiment towards India because coming from football wars like Germany? Murali, I mean, ask this question to yourself. If someone like me has tried to do whatever he can and could over decades now to help support Indian football, and I know what I have done or not done, does it not show my passion and sentiment towards India? Do you have, sorry, I find, do you need to ask that question? Why am I doing this? Why I'm doing this, talking to you guys about Indian football. Why do I care about Indian football? I can do other things if I wanted to. I could say, listen, take care of it on your own. And yeah. As it's very hot here, will you take a hot summer day in Kolkata or a cold snowy day in Germany there? Snowy day here. I love snow. And the advantages with snow is, or with cold weather is, there is either right clothing, you have the thickness and layers. And in a hot summer day in Kolkata, I can't peel off my skin, right? I mean, still need to wear a t-shirt and something. So therefore, I'll take a cold day. Did you see the match between Hong Kong and Manchester United with the way they played? I don't know what we will do. No, I didn't. No, I did not. We were very compact against Australia, which didn't allow them easy pace. But taking out against Uzbekistan, Lord, I was thinking we should have played the same way. Okay, Rushabh. I criticize players, but people calling random names to footballers not right. I come from Kerala, the age where I got a decent coaching was at after 18, so we are very far behind football. Very, very true. You like chaos because you have a certain structure in everything you find difficult in sports. Morally, no, I don't like chaos. I liked it structured, organized, but I know that there are certain Indian realities which I will not be able to change, so I have to live with it. I really was embarrassed at the Asia Cup the way they played, so I don't think this team should qualify for the Asia Cup, says Rhythm. Okay. And players should be accountable, but players are just the end of the ecosystem. No, players, end of the ecosystem, yes, but they are accountable also, right? Everyone should be accountable at some level. That's the thing. To me, everyone, and the players also. So therefore, for us, as fans, as people, as well-wishers of Indian football, everybody in their own means and ways needs to be accountable. Yeah. I saw a documentary about DDR. DDR is the former East Germany. It was showcased that the districts had the pride to produce class players. The National Federation didn't care much to invest in it. Yeah, very true. Districts or what we would in Indian context would call states. Yeah, and that was Eastern. I'm just pointing that exam. Okay, pointing. Okay, so yeah, that's also reality. Database was even faster than Kenyan. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Was he fast? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. Right, 1 hour and 42 minutes on this Monday evening, 2nd of June. And once more, the reminder, like if you like the stream, 23 likes, thank you very much. Share with other people, even, I always say that there are things that you can watch afterwards. I think some of these live streams are really, really good. Thanks for asking those questions always. Share it. And as I said, do also watch the short videos. So, and share it with other people. Need your support to grow this community. 2,590 people now here. So that is it to that's it for today. And yeah, keep on supporting Indian football. Never stop that. I know. Let's ask critical questions and keep on supporting. Keep on supporting Indian football. And I'll be back tomorrow evening with another live. Good night, everyone.